Welcome back to our channel. In today's video, we will be discussing the effects of vaping on the body. Vaping has become increasingly popular in recent years, with many people turning to e-cigarettes as a supposed safer alternative to smoking. However, as we will see, vaping is not without its risks. So let's dive in and take a closer look at what vaping does to the body. What is vaping? Before we delve into the health effects of vaping, let's first define what vaping is. Vaping involves inhaling a vaporized liquid that is typically made up of nicotine, flavorings, and other chemicals. This liquid is heated by a battery-powered device called an e-cigarette, which turns it into a vapor that is then inhaled. Health effects of vaping. Now, let's take a look at the health effects of vaping. While e-cigarettes are often marketed as a safer alternative to smoking, the reality is that they still contain harmful chemicals that can have serious consequences for our health. Here are some of the most significant health risks associated with vaping. Respiratory problems. One of the most common health risks associated with vaping is respiratory problems. Inhaling the vapor from e-cigarettes can cause irritation and inflammation in the lungs, which can lead to coughing, wheezing, and shortness of breath. Studies have also found that vaping can cause lung damage, which can increase the risk of developing respiratory diseases, such as bronchitis and asthma. Cardiovascular disease. Vaping has also been linked to an increased risk of cardiovascular disease. Nicotine, which is found in e-cigarettes, can cause the arteries to narrow and harden, which can increase the risk of heart attacks and strokes. Studies have also found that vaping can cause an increase in blood pressure and heart rate, which can put additional stress on the cardiovascular system. Chemical exposure. When we vape, we are exposing ourselves to a range of chemicals that can have harmful effects on our health. While e-cigarettes are often marketed as a safer alternative to smoking, the reality is that they still contain chemicals such as formaldehyde, acetaldehyde, and acrolein, which are known carcinogens. Inhaling these chemicals can increase the risk of developing cancer and other serious health problems. Addiction. Nicotine is a highly addictive substance, and vaping can be just as addictive as smoking. In fact, some studies have found that e-cigarettes can be even more addictive than traditional cigarettes, due to the higher concentration of nicotine in e-liquids. Addiction to nicotine can lead to a range of health problems, as well as financial and social issues. Harm to children and adolescents. Vaping can also have harmful effects on children and adolescents. Nicotine exposure during adolescence can interfere with brain development, leading to long-term cognitive and behavioral problems. Additionally, there have been cases of children and adolescents being poisoned by e-liquids, which can be fatal if ingested. Damage to oral health. Vaping can also have negative effects on oral health. The vapor from e-cigarettes can cause dry mouth, which can lead to an increase in bacteria and plaque formation. This can increase the risk of tooth decay, gum disease, and other oral health problems. Impact on reproductive health. Nicotine exposure can also have negative effects on reproductive health. Studies have found that vaping can decrease sperm count and motility in men, while also increasing the risk of infertility and pregnancy complications in women. Risk of accidents and injuries. Vaping can also increase the risk of accidents and injuries. The use of e-cigarettes and other vaping devices has been linked to explosions and fires, which can cause severe burns and other injuries. Withdrawal symptoms. As with smoking, vaping can also lead to withdrawal symptoms when attempting to quit. These symptoms can include irritability, anxiety, depression, headaches, and insomnia, and can make it difficult for individuals to quit vaping. Lack of regulation. Another concern with vaping is the lack of regulation around e-cigarettes and other vaping devices. The FDA has yet to fully regulate these products, meaning that the safety and quality of e-liquids and devices may not be fully known. Respiratory infections. Vaping can increase the risk of respiratory infections, such as pneumonia and bronchitis. The chemicals in e-cigarettes can weaken the immune system and damage the cells in the respiratory system, making individuals more susceptible to infections. Interference with medications. Nicotine can interfere with certain medications, including those used to treat depression, anxiety, and high blood pressure. Vaping can also interact with prescription drugs in ways that are not yet fully understood, potentially leading to negative health effects. Damage to DNA. The chemicals in e-cigarettes can cause damage to DNA, which can increase the risk of cancer and other health problems. Additionally, exposure to these chemicals can cause mutations in cells, leading to the development of abnormal cells and potentially cancerous growths. Social stigma. While not necessarily a direct health risk, vaping can also carry a social stigma. Many individuals view vaping as an unhealthy habit, and those who vape may face social isolation or discrimination as a result. Economic costs. Finally, vaping can come with significant economic costs. The cost of e-cigarettes and e-liquids can add up over time, and the potential health consequences of vaping can lead to increased medical costs and lost income due to illness or disability. One fact about vaping and its effects on the body is that it can lead to lung damage and respiratory problems. The aerosol produced by e-cigarettes contains harmful chemicals, including nicotine, heavy metals, and flavoring agents, which can irritate the lungs and cause inflammation. This can lead to breathing difficulties, coughing, wheezing, and an increased risk of developing lung diseases such as asthma and chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD. Additionally, some studies suggest that vaping may weaken the immune system and make individuals more susceptible to respiratory infections. In conclusion, while vaping may be marketed as a safer alternative to smoking, the reality is that it still carries significant health risks. From respiratory problems to cardiovascular disease, chemical exposure to addiction, and harm to children and adolescents, the potential consequences of vaping are serious and should not be taken lightly. If you are a smoker looking to quit, there are many resources available to help you quit smoking safely and effectively. And if you are a non-smoker, it is best to avoid vaping altogether to protect your health. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more informative content. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in next video.